tua male au nanga mo tau sa mo service station nei tona I matu. Matau te utuina lo ta vale, male tele unisio matu au nanga ese. Ai ngata foile, matau te sia ke ina fo ilo ta vale. Siapa lah yang voice wow, mau lah ucapan. Apa itu yang baik pak urusan? Awalnya telepon, matu siapa lah yang voice mau lah ucapan. Mulu no posilah dia, mua tapi lah ucapan lepas itu. Mua tapi lah telepon ni time itu ini lah ucapan. Malah bayang mulu. Mana tua fu? Matua I fasa ina, lo tau maftapa ai no fuanga fape. Ota Samoa, ore mota mo Samoa. Mato te fia au na pe mo o Samoa. Maftaila fia mai. We'll see you again. God bless.
Mama avenga le nei ma le Pacific Isi mo au tupe whaamumoli Samoa au tapu ni ai ofisa mo le whaava yasu. Whaonga nei lolna wa unanga forward ta ua o le direct transfer. A whai wa yesa membership card ma e whaonga ina le internet banking o le matua I whaingo fia lava. Na le tipose mai lava lau se leni matua account o na whaatino leo la foina o lau se leni mo a inga I Samoa. E ia inga I tahu na whaamalia mo nisi whaamatalanga I le nei au nanga fo. Wala au le telefoni o walu se lau o tasi o nono po le lua fitu ono fitu iwa fitu wha. Pe text mai fo ilo suafa I le valu tolu o.
Telephone voucher is one of the most convenient ways that I'm finding now to do my shopping here at Farmer Joe, and my sister just sent through the voucher on my cell phone and I just come straight to Farmer Joe to do my shopping.
Ole si tulanga pitusili ole tau. Ole la fo me ole pepa tala olo. Ona whaangale whaatau I oloa e au ngā mole ainga.
I think it's really convenient for families overseas if they don't know how to help their families here. Then this is the perfect way.
Mai ai la sa suma fua tau e lisia sa.
Ni fia foi sa we mo mawina nei foi au nang fo e ala mai le talo fo voucher. Ila wana whaatau ma me te mga oi. Ile voucher.
Tai mo le talo pa voucher ua maua le apususi o se wa fine. So se paro loa whaingo fie. A me se le te whelua I malau telefoni. Tai mi uma. Ai lo le la fo me cash ona inu e ta maore ainga.
Whaatea tu lava le talo fo voucher mo le foi au nang fo whaatai. Ma lua lava le taumpai.
Tai talo pa voucher. Teki talo pa voucher.
LA and a warm Pacific greetings to all of our viewers who have just tuned in to BluTable Podcast with your girl Pea and Claudia for your very cold Wednesday, or should I say hump day. Look, it is a Tongan Language Week where we celebrate the rich culture and language of our Tongan community. So a massive whawhetai lava to the Ministry of Pasifika people who continue to push these initiatives through so that, acknowledge our language and culture here in Aotearoa. But, before I wanted to hand it over to Claudia, I have been trying to learn some of the phrases. So today I'm just going to say Happy Tongan Language Week, which is Wike Kotoa Ngai o e le whakatonga. And then this is I think it's the title, for the Tongan Language Week, which is Whakakoala o Aotearoa Akia e Ako Lele, which means enriching Aotearoa with holistic education. So if you are watching and you are Tongan, I do apologize and sincerely sorry, but that was me attempting. But I do love one of the verses as well that I've been trying to learn, which is Tu e la moe popo, which is ensuring that one is prepared eventually. And I did have a little giggle with Claudia earlier on, because I said to her, eventually one day I will be well prepared for the show and for our language week. So a massive thank you so much to the Ministry of Pasifika people for putting this initiative through for us. And also, while we're on the thank you buzz, I do want to say a special thank you to our sponsors, because without our sponsors, we wouldn't have this platform available for our people to share their journeys, to share their life experience. So the hope is that they plant that seed for our youth and it flourishes through the next generation to come. But Pacific 40, the beautiful Faluse, I know she's been quite busy during this lockdown because her online platform is open. So if you need to send that love to Samoa, you know you can do that with Pacific 40. Also, Lia Fionga ya Whaimalo, Alan Stowers, thank you so much. Pacific Easy. Don't forget, if you are watching and you need to send a little bit of fund over to Samoa, remember that all of these online platforms that do assist our amazing ainga in Samoa and also helps our economy. So Pacific Easy Money Transfer, yes. Sending that love back to Samoa. Malta Samoa, who we also had on the show yesterday, Sei Oriana, the Pacific Business Hub, Seki Works, all proudly owned and operated by Pacific. So check out their website and show some love and support. But how are you, my beautiful Claudia, today?
Maloe lele, everyone, and thank you so much for that beautiful, beautiful introduction, Bear, and thank you so much to everyone that's tuned in. And like you were saying, Bear, we are always and forever very grateful to all our sponsors that continue to support us. Without you guys, honestly, we would not even be here. So thank you so much. But as we always do, Bear and I, we actually have a friendship outside of this show, so we're always continuously talking, but we had this little conversation this morning, and she actually told me that she was just tried something for the very first time, and I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked. I think I asked you like 2 or 3 times if you were actually telling the truth. Yeah. But I'll let you tell the viewers what it is you had for the very first time, because I'm still struggling to believe it, because I've had it many times.
Yeah, well, so, look, you know, we have discussed it. You know, I love our Pacific food, but sometimes I'm quite picky, and I'm not too sure, because I think people who know me well will probably say, oh, that's just her, that's her personality. But yes, I know that a lot of people have been celebrating Tongan Language Week in various ways. So, you know, a shout out to Mele and to Cleveland Kids that they've been putting through small little videos. So, you know, it helps their children learn the culture a little bit more. And she actually made otai, which is a Tongan drink. Yeah. And yes, believe it or not, I have never ever tasted otai before. I've been to Polyfest, I've been to Pacifica, and no, I always avoid. And I mean, it looks great.
It's so good. Like when you told me, I was like mind blowing that you had never tried it before.
I know, and it was funny because I actually shared something that was on the Toko Uso page, which was of one of the brothers. They were trying to make otai, and someone actually commented in the comment field saying, oh, C is a fake Tongan. And I can admit now that I'm a fake islander as well, because I didn't taste otai, but I've tasted it for the first time and it was
fake.
Loved it.
It's good, isn't it? But I've actually got a comment here that's saying that otai is actually similar to the Samoan vaifala. Is that true?
Yes, it is, but I didn't have vaifala either.
Have you not had it either? I think I'm just exposing you on the show. I'm so sorry.
No, I think it's just I've never been a fan of the tropical fruity drinks or beverages unless something else is added to it. So
And what's the something else, Harper?
Yeah, I've moved away from that life a long time.
I love that. But talking about tropical drinks and tropical fruits, man, I'm just really, really eager to just head over to Samoa, especially with Samoa Tourism Authority showing us around the island, showing us all these beautiful photos and talking about all these amazing festivals going on. I am just so eager and so keen to head over.
Oh, it's like, yesterday we spoke to the beautiful Isadora there in Samoa. And again, we can't wait to be able to connect with our amazing people in Samoa, Tonga, Fiji. There's so much more we're going to be bringing on the show. But if you are in Samoa, or wherever you're tuning in from, Australia, New Zealand, don't forget you can help our Samoa tourism team by sending through the alofa via any of the platforms that we have, the businesses that we have shared. But not only that, just by sharing their posts, for me, it's been the online experience that Samoa Tourism Authority have been able to bless us with. It's been amazing. So I've been keeping up. It's kind of like keeping up with Kardashians, but keeping up with Samoa. So it's been awesome. So head over to Samoa Tourism Authority page. Hit like. From time to time, they will be sending their videos, and exciting. The new series for Kafaonga is also available on YouTube. So don't forget, the boys are going to be taking you around for their online experience, because Samoa cannot wait to have us over.
I'm so eager. And Pea, my beautiful Pea, I'm just reading the comments right now. And we have Ryan that is saying, what? In response to you not trying Otai or Vaifala before. So yes, Ryan, I am equally as shocked as you, but we are going to head into a short break. And when we come back, we are going to have the beautiful, beautiful Mele. And I'm very excited about this guest because she's actually in the same industry as you, huh, Pea?
Yes, she is. She is, my little side hustle with Vaitolo Celebration, the beautiful Mel from Kanumez, Tongan Queen, and, definitely such an inspiration this woman is. And I can't wait to talk a little bit more about her journey as well. So I'm super excited, because I know that she's contributed in a massive way in the Tongan community. But not only that, the education side of it has been quite important for her as well. And she's, I can't wait to hear more about her journey, Claudia.
I'm so eager. So we're going to head into that short break. But before we do, we have a huge shout out to our producer, Ram. So shout out to you who's behind the camera and behind the scenes. But don't go anywhere. We will be back very shortly.
Stay tuned, guys.
O le whaamama awenga le nei ma le Pacific Isi, mo au tupe whaamumoli Samoa, a o tapuni ai ofisa mo le whaawa yaso. Whaonga nei lola na wa unanga forward ta ua, o le direct transfer. A whai wa yesa membership card ma e whaonga ina le internet banking, o le matua e whaingo fia lava. Na o le tipose mai lava lau se leni mato account, o na whaatino leo la foina o lau se leni mo a inga I Samoa. E ia inga I tahu na whaamaleina, mo nisi whaamatalanga I le nei au unanga fo. Wala au le telefoni o walu se lau o tasi o nono po le lua fitu ono fitu iwa fitu wha. Pe text mai fo ilo suafa I le valu tolu o.
Telephone voucher is one of the most convenient ways that I'm finding now to do my shopping here at Farmer Joe. And my sister just sent through the voucher on my cell phone, and I just come straight here to Farmer Joe to do my shopping.
Ole si tūlanga pitusili o le tāu. Ole lafo me o le pepa tala o loa. Ona whaangale e whaatau ai o loa e au ngā mole ainga.
I think it's really convenient for families overseas if they don't know how to help their families here. Then this is the perfect way.
Mai ai la sa so fua tau ai lesia sa. Le fia foi sa we mo mawina le foi au nang fo ala mai le talo for voucher. Ila wana whaakau ma me te mga oi. Ile voucher.
Tai mo le talo for voucher. Ua maua le apususi o se wa fine. So se paro loa whaingo fie. A me se le te whai ma lau telefoni. taimi uma. Ai lo la fo merkes o nei no dor tamao re ainga.
Fa te tu lava le talo fa voucher mo le foi au nang fo pa tai. Ma lu lava le tam pai.
Pa tai talo fa voucher. Teki talo fa voucher.
Malolele and talofa lava, everyone, and welcome back. I am going to do a very quick COVID update before we introduce our beautiful and very special guest. Shout out to Ryan from the Blue Wave team, who's actually put together these really cool graphics that will also be shown on the brother Lorenzo's podcast at 3 p.m. and you can tune in Blue TV to watch him as well. But the COVID update for today is there are 15 new cases in the community of Auckland, one new case in managed isolation and quarantine, which brings a total of 855 cases linked to the current outbreak, 37 cases in hospital, 6 in intensive care or high dependency units, and 4 cases on ventilators. So guys, while the rest of the country is in level 2, Aucklanders, you are still in level 4, which means no lockdown parties, no breaking your bubbles, please. The more that we stick to our bubbles, the sooner we can move alert level. So everyone just hang in there, not much longer to go, but I won't take any more time from our special guest. Pea, would you like to do the honors?
Yes. Look, it is an absolute honor and pleasure to have the beautiful, the intelligent and gifted Mele Moala, owner of Kanumez events. Not only is she graduated in with a Bachelor of Electrical Engineering, and she is also the proud owner of Kanumez events, but also Kanumez fashion. The beautiful Mele has built such a massive Kanumez empire that has inspired so many of our stylists here in Aotearoa, and I know across the globe. Mele, you are a passionate and driven individual who has so much love for your community that it's honestly had a ripple effect also on the industry. Mele, thank you so much for making the time for us here on Blue TV and BluTable Podcast. Welcome, Malo. Thank you. How have you been during this lockdown, first of all?
Oh, I've been good, thank you. Thank you so much, Pea and Claudia, for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk on your show. But yes, I've been good. This lockdown has given me an opportunity to have some much needed rest.
I know, I think Claudia, she's experienced a little bit of it. Claudia is also a very hard worker, but I was explaining to her the long hours that you have to endure for your business. But before we get into all of it, I wanted to, you've graduated, you've got your bachelor in electrical and electrical engineering, sorry?
Electrical and electronic engineering.
Electronic. There we go. This is why you need to stay in school, everyone. Because I'm going, so electrical engineering, electronic engineering. But you're in a different industry. Talk us through a little bit about that. Sorry,
yeah,
I'll let you do an intro. See, this is what I'm so nervous right now. I'll let you do your intro. Sorry, Mal.
I think we need to go to a break,
totally
rewind, and start again.
We'll just rewind there. I think it's a little bit hot in here. Sorry, Mal. I'll let you do your little intro for everyone.
Oh, no, that's fine. My name is Mele Tongatamanilo. As Pea said, I'm Tongan, and I was born in Tonga, moved to New Zealand in 2006, and have spent most of my life living overseas before we moved here from Fiji in 2006. And I've been doing, my main background is in IT, but I've just quit my job in June, and I'm doing this full time now. So Kanumez is our fashion side, and Kanumez events, which we've just started recently, I think since probably 2 years now, doing event decor under Kanumez events.
I love that. And I just want the viewers to see, because I'm absolutely in love with your hoodie. But could you just lift up your hoodie and show the camera? I just think it's a really cool hoodie. And Kanumez, what is the story behind that business name?
So it's a name that I had chosen ever since I was like a child. It was inspired by my sister, and it's who she's named after, Kanumez. And I just added the Z at the end just to make it sound cool. That's what I thought it did. But
Yeah, I remember back in the days, always add a Z to make it cool.
Yeah.
Well, it does sound cool, and you've definitely impacted the industry in a massive and powerful way. So we're just going to go back to that question before I fully ruin the format that Claudia said through. Look, we're talking about your, what you graduated in, and I know education is very, very important. But I also read in before you actually left your full-time job as, doing IT for the Ministry of Justice, which in any, and I'll be honest, it's common for our Pacifica families to be so proud of our children when they graduate. And that's what we normally do. We follow lead. But what was it about that? Because I read in that post that you did it because of your dad. Can you give us a little bit of a insight of that?
Yeah, so my dad has always been my biggest inspiration. He's a telecommunications engineer and specializes in satellites, and he's taken us to many places, and we've seen, just the type of work he's done, and just, his background, his upbringing, and it's always been an inspiring aspect in my life. And so when I finished high school, I just thought, I want to be just like him. So that's why I studied engineering and came here and finished my studies off at AUT. And then my long journey, 15 years, well, I started working in IT a bit back in Fiji, and then continued here, and finally put an end to that in June.
How did you transition from IT to event planning and fashion, because they're very different fields?
I think it's because fashion has always been something that I really loved as a child, but as Pacifica students growing up, there's always that expectation, to go and study, and I think I didn't really want to take up fashion because I had a different mindset about it back then, and I honestly thought there was no future in fashion if I decided to take it up, and I didn't know any of my family members or anyone who was a fashion stylist, and so that's why so I think after I started working, and after 15 years of working, I just thought, man, there's got to be more to life than just going to my 9 to 5. Like, I thought to myself, is this it? Is this what I went to uni for, just to work so I can pay the bills? And I think I started asking different questions, and my dad introduced a course to me about business. It was offered by the Pacific Business Trust. And we took that course, and my mentor, our tutor, was a Tongan, and he was actually like a very successful Tongan who was a millionaire, quit his job and gave back to the community by teaching. And then we took his courses, and I really learned a lot and grasped a lot, and it really changed the way I view, running a business as opposed to working a job. And it just started from there. We started taking business classes after business classes. Mind you, this is like our 5th or 6th business. We've tried several different businesses before, even in IT, and they never worked out. And I think it's also had to do with a turning point because this particular business, Kanumez Fashion, I had been praying for a number of years, asking God to give me some sort of direction and in what I need to do. I knew I wanted to do something in fashion, but I didn't know what. All I knew was that it was something that I wanted to do that's never been done before. Yeah. And then he answered my prayer through, Xena, Warrior Princess, how she wears the waist garment around her waist. And I thought, oh my goodness, that's a light bulb moment where I thought we could do that with our own gears. And so I spent about 2 years researching, trialing, and then finally, I went through another hurdle in life where my sister lost her job. And that's when I thought, I think this is the moment that God has like the green light to start Kanumez Fashion. And so we just had like I had to call up a few family members, and we made because I had been making samples along the way, and we had about 10 samples by then, and I thought, oh, let's just do it. So we winged it. My sister had been doing some classes in photography and videography on the side. So the things that happened on that day was just honestly God led. Like, he took us to a venue which we were able to use without paying anything. He provided all the models. All we had was an iPhone, and our first video we shot with the iPhone. It went viral. Like, we had over 1,000 people sharing it, and I had no idea that people the very next day people would start messaging us asking to place an order, and I hadn't even had a price list or anything yet. And so, yeah, it just started off from there. So it's been amazing, and we're just grateful for the opportunity, and God answering our prayers the most.
Oh man, well, Claudia and myself were checking out some of your work, and absolutely beautiful. And I can see that where the inspiration has come from. We're going to ask where the inspiration came from, but I actually saw you share a TikTok video earlier on with regards to why you actually went to or designed your gear the way that you have, which is a traditional Tongan piece that you wear. Can you, because myself and Claudia don't actually know the background from it, and because it's Tongan Language Week, can you give us a little bit of a background on that? And also, because it's not your traditional gear as well, can you give us also an explanation on why you've done or chosen to modify the gear as well?
Yep. So the gear, to my understanding, it symbolizes the land. So when you put it around you, you're binding the land to you, and it's something that you carry around no matter where you are. Like if you see Tongans in America, UK, we wear our gear everywhere we go because we carry Tonga, our land, everywhere we go. And so for Tongans overseas, obviously some of us don't have access to the traditional materials that are used back in our homelands to make gears. So I thought, and also looking at fashion, because we'd wear something really nice, like a nice puletaha, but sometimes, youth don't really feel like the gear, that traditional addition to that modern dress or outfit that you've got sometimes doesn't really go. So I thought this is another way where we can continue to embrace our culture by staying in tune with fashion, and by making gears out of modern material, such as, bling bling, like what I've got behind me.
No, I love it. I love that you want, you're passionate about it, but wanting to make sure that your culture still survives, especially with the times that have changed so much. And I love it because we checked out almost everything. My favorite one I did post on my page as well. Love it. Like the time must take so much time to create all of that.
Yeah, it takes hours.
I like the way you say that as well. Like,
oh my goodness, yeah.
But I just gotta say, I mean, I love it because they're so unique as well. I haven't seen anyone else produce similar ones to yours, and they're just so trendy and cool. And like you said, I think they'll look great with like your modern dress or your modern outfit. I thought they were beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Well, I wanted to add there, just going back on that, how trendy they were. We've also seen the Tangata Pasifika team also wear it as well. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Indira as well, who was so in touch with her culture, her Tongan culture as well, also rock it. So it's awesome to see that your work is also making it in mainstream media. So shout out to Indira as well, because that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, she's actually my first cousin.
Oh no, we're just gonna can you just book Indira in for an interview next? Awesome. It's so good that your family members are supporting your business, because it gets hard sometimes when you own a family business, and the expectation of those free things are kind of a bit tiring, but you don't mind. But let's go into your talk a little bit about your journey with the decor side of it, because you gave up your job in IT for your decor business. How did you do it? Because you did it actually during lockdown, I think, or was it just after lockdown?
I think it was after lockdown in June. So there was no lockdown then. Well, because I've been working on a side hustle for a number of years, and it's just been able to grow to a point where, excuse me, I couldn't keep up with the demand, and things were getting really stressful because obviously the workload was a lot, and coming home, I also have a son who I need to look after. So working on the business was done after hours, late into the night. Sometimes, I don't get any sleep. I'm either, working on gears or planning events, and it's 7 o'clock, time to take a shower and get ready to work. And so it's been really hard, and I'm just grateful because I know it's not just my own hard work that has got us this far to be able to quit my job. It's also God's favor, and also my family, who have been a great support system and have played a huge role in helping me with all my events. Like, my team is actually just my own family. It just got to a point where I couldn't really juggle both anymore, and I knew it was time to hand in my resignation.
Yes,
a leap of faith, man.
Yeah.
Now, Mele, you've mentioned a little bit about your hardships and the struggles, leading up to this journey. What would you say is your biggest business lesson that you have learnt along the way?
I think, obviously, never give up. I think struggles and failures are an absolute necessity to success. Like, you can't, there's no other way to learn other than from making mistakes and failing, which obviously I've had a lot of, and things like rejection, I've had a lot of that. And it's a blessing, because you learn, it toughens you up, and it molds you, it builds you, and you become a better person and learn lessons that you wouldn't learn by studying or taking a course and things like that. You learn from firsthand experience. I hope that answered your question.
Oh, no, that's beautiful.
I love that, you said that it molds you, because I think, a lot of us, are actually, we fear failure. And you did mention that, you had some failed business attempts, but it didn't stop you, because I think that's also something that I also fear as well. Personally, I never wanted to give up on certain things, even though I knew that it was going to rob me from a bigger blessing. I kept holding on to certain things, but you've mentioned that mistakes do happen. Failure does happen, and it's okay. So thank you, Mouse, for your honesty. I'm just going through, and I'm just thinking, what else is there to do? You have studied and you've done all of this, because I'm actually looking, I was talking to Claudia, we're both looking at taking up some classes as well. So you've definitely inspired me today, Mal, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I'm just going to double check, because my phone is actually really it's out of service, so I can't actually check the messages that are coming through. Claudia, do we have any messages from some of our viewers today for Mal's?
Mal, there's just a lot of people commenting on the amazing work that you have done. Tafa is saying, go Mele o Fatu. We've got a lot of little heart emojis coming through. Mele. Yeah. So Mele is commenting. She's saying, Malolele, my favorite two hostess, and Malolele, Mele, love your mahi. So honestly, like Bear was saying, you are clearly a huge inspiration to all of us. What advice would you give someone wanting to do something similar, wanting to get either into the event planning industry or just going for their business dream?
I think for me personally, don't put your eggs all into one basket. Like, obviously, if you're wanting to start a business, make sure you can survive for the first 6 months if you don't have any customers or if you don't have any cash flow. But also, once you're established, don't get too comfortable in that, because obviously for us, Bea would know, in the events industry, if that's all you've invested in, that's when we go through things like this lockdowns, there's no other stream. But I think if you put your eggs in different baskets, invest in different things, so that you still have multiple streams that can still put bread and butter on the table and pay your bills. That's the main thing. Like for me, obviously we have Kanumez events, and when we go into lockdown, we still get orders for Kanumez gears, and so we're still able to pay our bills off of that. And just make sure you invest in other things, not just one main thing.
It's difficult during lockdown. But how has it been? Because I've seen that you have still posted in your stories that, because the admin side of it is still quite, it takes up a lot of your time. How are you responding to that? Because I know that people, although we're still on lockdown, people are still sending several inquiries through to you. Is that right?
Yeah. Admin is like one of my challenges, and to be honest, I'm the only one who's doing admins for both, and I think it's because for me personally, the thing that's been challenging is just doing all the research, because I value customers, and I know that I don't want like somebody's event to be the same as the others, and I always try and make everyone's event different and unique, because at the end of the day, they're paying us to do that. And it's just a lot, because sometimes 1 hour on Pinterest can turn into 8, and then you don't get any sleep and you haven't responded to anybody else. And that's the challenge of it, just trying to discipline myself with time management and reply to everyone's messages on time, because obviously you probably experience it yourself. If you're too late to respond to their emails, they've already gone to somebody else and you've lost a customer. And so
Well, not myself. I think Witter and Cielo does a lot of our admin. I do a lot of the face of BluTable celebration. So I am actually quite pleased that Witter and Cielo do help me with those challenges, because I struggle with the same thing. I can barely keep up with my own emails. So shout out to Rosie, who invited me to check my emails. But no, those challenges are real. I'm glad that it's not just us, that it's small businesses that experience that as well.
Ladies, I just gotta say that I admire the both of you, because you are both owners of your own event planning business. So therefore you guys are essentially each other's competition. Right. But all I've seen is love and support for each other and for each other's business. Mele, what would you say to people who, I guess, try to undercut their own competition and unfortunately sometimes act like gatekeepers, because I guess in their mind they think there isn't enough room for everyone?
That's what I was just going to say, is that there's always room on the table for everybody. And I think it's just the mentality, because for me personally, I know that there's room for everybody. And I think we also need each other, because, with Bea, there's certain things that she has that I don't, and we hire from each other, and we share sharing knowledge and passing knowledge on to other people really helps each other to build So yeah, I think it's so, and you've just got to be kind, because like that saying, if you're not kind to them on the way up, then you better watch out on the way down. And like, because I know I know that my time there will be a time that there will be much better vendors who will and obviously there are who will grow and surpass us, and we just got to continue to champion them on and cheer them on.
I love it.
And I'm gonna also just add in there, I think when we did come into the industry, it was we were a little bit afraid of the industry. It's quite a massive industry, but I just would like to acknowledge Kanumez, Mel, who is actually probably like the big name in the industry, and the goddess of the stylist. No, but you are. But the sis Mel's has never ever turned us away, and when we struggle as a small business, we actually reach out to Mel's, and when we need assistance, it's not a good business. Sometimes people think it's not a good business decision to work and collaborate so close with someone that is classed as a competition. But I never ever saw Kanumez as competition. I saw her as adding value to our business, because she, we've learned so much from Mel, and she is the goddess here in South Auckland. Everyone in the industry does go to her, and she does. She's not threatened by anyone else, because she knows her worth, and she knows how amazing she is. And it's just like everyone is unique in how they run their business, but definitely learnt so much, and we value our friendship and the business friendship that we have as well with Mel. So yeah, the goddess.
Well said, ladies. Well said. Mele, I'm going to ask you another question. Who are 3 Pacific people who you look up to, who have been very influential to you?
I don't mean to sound cheesy, but it's got to be my parents, my mum and dad.
Love that.
Like, if they were all I had to influence me, then that's all that I need. And just instilling to me, the main principle of, because I grew up faith-based, and my parents have always instilled that no matter what you do, you need to put God first, and the importance of putting God first. And also my grandma, she's the one who taught me how to how to weave, knit, how to make the traditional gears, growing up, at a very young age. So she's played a pivotal role, and it was her birthdays that we always used as like our practice runs for event decor, which eventually we, made it into a business. So yeah, my parents and my grandma.
I love that.
It's always the case though, our parents encourage. But look, Mel, I know that culture is such a massive thing, and we've got a little bit of time this is what I do. As soon as I look at the time, we've got another few minutes so I can quickly squeeze in those questions. Culture, obviously the Tongan culture, it's such a massive thing that, and Tongans, I don't mean to offend in any way if I do come across as that, but I don't, are always so extra. And that has been something that I've seen in the industry. How on earth do you navigate through, because recently there was a engagement that happened, where was it, Alexandra Park, and I've never seen anything like it. You did the setup, but how do you incorporate the culture aspect to your decor? Because it wasn't just the decor, it was the pigs, it was the food, it was the everything that they did, and it was like massive. How do you incorporate culture, like your Tongan culture, in that, and make sure that it's you meet that expectation as well? Massive.
I think, firstly, stop over exaggerating. I'm not that. I'm still.
You already know that. I'm
still a rookie. No, but thank you so much for your kind compliments, Bea. I really appreciate it. I think, yeah, it's just sometimes to me it's funny that and I have a lot of that all the time, like and it comes from a lot of family, like I want my birthday to be like, I don't want I want something that no one's ever seen before. Like, yeah. And it's really challenging because it stresses me out. And I spent hours just, trying to look for something that hasn't been seen or done in New Zealand. And I always like look at overseas vendors for inspiration. And with our culture, I think that's just, it's naturally Tongans, like, and when they're mawhana, like meaning they're happy and they just want to go all out, they go all out. And that graduation with the engagement, I was just so grateful that she that she wanted to go all out, and most importantly, like she had the budget to go all out, because a lot of people, they want to go all out, but when you ask them for the budget, it's like oh. But yeah, I think it's just part of our culture to just be extra. I mean, you look at our gold teeth. I don't know, I don't have any, but it just tells you that Tongans are not satisfied with just white teeth, they want gold teeth.
and why not?
Yes, and why not?
I love it, because I know Claudia experienced an event as well, and she couldn't believe, she just looked at me, she goes, I said to her straight away, I think I married the wrong person. But Claudia, can you give us a little bit of how was your experience?
So I went to a 21st birthday party, and she was half Tongan, half Samoan. So it was really interesting to see how the two cultures kind of celebrated her. And the Samoan side of her family got up and they did their presentations, beautiful dances, beautiful singing, loved it. And then the Tongan side of the family came up, and you could hear them before they got onto the stage. First of all, they were dancing like it was the end of the world, and there was just very very generous. I was just like, wow, it was just a beautiful experience. But yes, I came back to the Blue Wave team and I was like, wow, guys, like, that's amazing. And they looked at me, and every single one of them was like, Claudia, don't marry a Samoan, marry a Tongan. And I'm like, okay.
But just everything about your culture, it's so beautiful, but it's so extra. And like Claudia mentioned, it was raining ATM cards, I think, that day, but it is, and it's beautiful that you've captured all of that, Mel, because I think everyone and the viewers and all of your customers that have come through to you, extra is just, oh my goodness.
And I live for it. I'm like, I live for it. It's like an experience. You only live for the experience of the memories. So why not go all out? But Mele, we have another question from one of our viewers. This is from Patrick. And he also has his own podcast called For the Boys. So he says, love the humility in both Pea and Mele. But Mele, do you recall any wacky or out of it requests by clients?
Well,
I think she's got a story in mind.
Oh, just an example for the engagement we just did. I hope she doesn't mind me sharing this, but she requested a balloon, like just one balloon drop, or some balloons dropping when she says yes. And me being extra, I was like, nah, that's not extra. Why don't we get some spark machines, get some rose petals, because the winter rose garden was the theme. And she's like, that's a great idea. Like, at first when she asked for the balloon drop, and when people ask for wacky stuff, I try and think of something that's a bit more than that.
Yeah. You're the one that's asking to go extra.
Yeah, but I honestly can't remember, because my memory is terrible as well. I honestly can't remember any like wacky requests from the top of my head, unfortunately.
Well, that's probably a good thing then, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, those events are stunning. I'm quickly looking. I know that I've, as always, add my extra questions in there, but I'm just gonna, because we're gonna wrap up soon. Did you have any encouraging messages or quotes for our viewers who have currently tuned in today? Please, Mel.
Yes, and it's just, I always share this wherever I with whatever I'm speaking on, but it will always be what my dad has embarked on us since we were childhood, and that's Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. I think, to me personally, that's played a pivotal role in my life, whereby, you know, the most important thing at the end of the day is putting Christ first, because I mean, to me personally, this is just a temporary home, and money is not the end game. The end game is heaven for me, and just doing my best with the talents and gifts that God has blessed me with here on earth, and glorifying his name with those talents before I make my exit. But yeah, it will definitely be Matthew 6:33.
I love what you said, though. You said money isn't the end game, heaven is. I love that. I think some people need to listen to that.
Now, you know, I'm going to say it again. You continue to blow us away in the industry. You inspire us all. The goddess, and we love your work. We really do. And I think a lot of us will agree that not only have you helped us, but you collaborate with so many small businesses to help them grow, because when you collaborate with a small business, you share them on your platform, which is massive. So we really, really appreciate the words that you have shared, the words of encouragement, because I'm sure that all of our viewers today, because I'm always inspired when I check your work out, but to be able to talk to you and to share your journey with all of our viewers today, thank you.
Thank you, Maloa Pito.
Mele, did you have something else, like something like a Tongan saying that you wanted to say to finish off for our Tongan language week?
Whamaloa tupe ke takataha kotoa nau mea mai ke po kalama koni. This is actually my first time to be on a media program, that's non-Tongan, that's got non-Tongan interviewers, and it's a blessing to be on the Samoan stage with you guys, and thank you so much for the opportunity. I really do appreciate it. And ofalahi atu to you both and all the listeners out there. Malo apito.
Thank you so much, Mele. We have Siola who's just tuned in, and Siola saying hi, Mal.
Hi, Siola.
But honestly, like Bear said, I couldn't have said it any better. You're just a true inspiration, and your hustle and grind, honestly, is just so inspiring to me. So thank you so much again for being on the show. And I look forward to meeting you and every other guest that I've met online. I look forward to meeting you in real person, and to be able to just give you a hug would be really nice. So thank you so much.
Virtual hug.
I'm going to be booking your wedding with Kanumez here in New Zealand before we head off and book it with Malta Samoa tomorrow. We're going to have two for you. But once again, thank you so much, Mel. To all of our viewers who have tuned in, don't forget to head over to Kanumez Events or Kanumez Fashion. Hit the like button, show some love, follow her work. She's amazing. Also a massive whawhetai lover. Once again, to all of our Pacific-owned businesses who continue to show genuine love and support for our platform here on Blue TV, Pacific 40, Pacific Easy, Malta Samoa, Say Oriana, the Pacific Business Hub, Seki Works. That's us, everyone. Don't forget to tune into Lorenzo and Asiata's show after this. God bless.
Sorry, I'm just gonna say sorry. We just got a few more comments coming through. I just want to say hi to Antonio, who's saying hi, good programs. Thank you so much for tuning in. And also to Patrick, who has said he loves your work, and he says that he has heaps of ideas for his 21st, although I think it's going to be his 31st. But honestly, thank you so much. I just wanted to get in those last few comments from our viewers, because without them, we would be nothing pretty much. But thank you so much.
Thank
you, Malo. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
sense. Let's go. Oh, say I'm say you are complete to me, Agelio. By the way that you move and the way that you smile. Say, oh my Dorima, baby, you be giving your hand, I'll take you anywhere. You give me something that I never had. Cause you care, but about to me and the family. Say, why you waiting on me to talk to you? Yeah, I'ma listen what y'all say. Yeah, don't move out in the come here. Yeah, they on the nail, to dirty wine, girl, dirty wine. Yeah, say, I'm in and not the bite to get out. Say,